Starting on your back, you can allow the knees to bow in and sort of settle into each other along your midline. Feet are a little more than hips width or hips width apart. And the hands can start by resting on the navel. And begin by slowly breathing into your hands there that are just below your belly button. We don't have to overdo it when it comes to diaphragmatic breathing. Just the littlest bit of inspiration in the navel ensures that our diaphragm is working. And this actually corresponds with our theme already. Whenever we direct muscles, even something like the diaphragm, like our breath, we tend to do it like 200 or 300% more than the muscle itself would move. And so even when we're, for example, bringing our attention to the navel and trying to ensure that we're breathing with our diaphragm, we have to sort of step back and feel the body while we also, subtly direct it. Like, yes, we want to bring some attention to our navel. We want to inspire that diaphragmatic breathing. But can we do that with a very light touch so that it actually resembles the natural movement of our diaphragm? What I love about this is that you can feel how sustainable this approach is. It's almost like you stop rushing and you feel the current that's already happening in the river that you're in. And you realize, yeah, I'm moving and I can swim with this current, but I don't have to like swim hard. I don't have to swim against it. I can literally just swim with it if I can just find the current. And the breath is a great way of finding that current. We'll begin by inspiring some easy movement across the lateral edges of the body, so you can extend the arm and leg that are closest to the monitor, pressing through the foot that's away from the monitor onto your side. Hopefully that already feels pretty good. And just rocking side to side on your side body, just saying hello to that rib cage. Allowing yourself to unlock any tightness here. Even just having the arm extended and rolling on your side is already a pretty significant stretch. Believe it or not, because that's not a normal way that you're standing all day. You're actually doing something already. And just to keep things simple, we're just going to float back onto our back, exchange arm and leg, like other arm extends, and then go on to your other side body. And then from here, rolling onto your belly, stacking hands, forehead on hands. And we come back to the diaphragmatic breathing. Here the floor acts as sort of a counter to the expansion of your belly, allowing you to really feel that diaphragmatic breathing on an even subtler level, because you can feel the resistance to it as your belly has to press into the floor to expand. Again, I encourage you to find what's not your muscular doership, but rather like try to find the current, try to find the flow. One of my first aha moments in yoga, where I was able to really feel this intelligence of the body, this ability for me to zoom out while moving my body, was in this next position, this next work that we're going to do together. It's the very first inklings of the posture Shalabhasana. And so Shalabhasana involves lifting the legs from the floor, etc. But we're going to go really slow. And we've done these metaphors before. Imagine the tops of your feet are velcroed to the floor. In this case, the tops of the feet will be velcroed. And then you're going to slowly, let's just slowly unweight the left leg so that you feel like the Velcro is almost still clinging, but the weight is out of the leg. And then slowly bring that leg back down. So it barely leaves the floor, if at all. Other leg. And then back down. And so that's the idea. Now, pay attention as you do this action. Now watch, if you're not focused on lifting the leg, but you're just focused on sort of feeling the leg leaving the floor, unweighting it, you can really watch your body orchestrate. You watch and feel the glutes, the hamstrings, the calf, the sole of the foot, all of them. You feel them all slowly engaging and contracting as your leg continues to lift, and you can let it leave the floor at this point. And then slowly bringing it back down. If you go slow, you can watch your body work. And that's sort of what we're going for here. You don't have to tell each of these muscles to engage. You just sort of observe it. You inspire it. You sort of direct it, but you're not doing all the work. From here, we're going to, well, you can finish the other side if you haven't done both sides equally. Feel free to even that out. I'll give everybody a moment for that. And we're going to glide the hands underneath the shoulders. And then slowly push ourselves up through a table position and back to Bhaktasana. And while in Bhaktasana, bring your breath to that large expanse of the ribs that's along the back side of our body. And again, don't overdo it. Just say hello to that huge amount of space that we rarely breathe into because it's behind us. The musculature of the backside of your body is thick endurance musculature. It responds slower than the front side of the body, but it's able to sustain its work much longer. For example, your calf can stay pressing against the gas pedal of the car for hours while you drive, but you can barely hold a coffee cup with your bicep for more than a few minutes, or whatever that is for each of us. The idea here is that the backside of your body is slow and steady, just like the witness, just like this space of witnessing. It can really sustain your focus if you hold your attention to the backside of the body while you breathe. Pressing down through the shins, floating up through table position. And just to allow ourselves to move sort of organically, not to get too static, bring the right knee forward and the left hand forward. And then go right hand forward and left knee. So you're just crawling, easy crawling pattern. If you have trouble with that, just think about bringing knee towards the wrist that's in front of it. And you can go backwards if you run out of room. And try to walk yourself to wherever you'd like to be positioning wise, sort of the middle of your area, your rug, your mat, whatever it might be. Okay, from here, you can extend the leg that's further from the monitor and pause here And notice that the weight is in the forelimbs. And then very slowly, I want you to unweight the knee that's underneath you. You're not even going to lift it from the floor. Just unweight it and watch your abdominals and the front side of your body respond. And slowly come back, glide that leg underneath you, extend the other leg back. Slowly unweight the knee that's underneath you, supporting you, and watch as your body does so much to compensate and to hold you up as that knee floats easily off the floor. Then coming back in, we'll bow to Bhaktasana one more time. Flex the wrists inwards so that the wrists are bending the opposite way that they just were, so that your backs of your knuckles will touch. You're flexing the wrists in just to give them a little counter pose. And extending those wrists. Slowly back up to table. And so same idea, we're going to reach that leg that's further from the monitor back, keeping the knee underneath us. And then slowly unweighting the knee that's right underneath you, feeling your abdominals respond. This time the knee's going to slowly leave the floor, and you can push yourself back to a staggered down dog. And then slowly float forward, have that knee land on the mat, and very easily and lightly, gently lift the back leg up, feeling the glutes and the hamstrings of that leg engaged. And just sustain that engagement. Don't worry about how high you're lifting. Just feel a nice steady engagement and no splaying of your ribs. You want to keep the pelvis pretty neutral here. We'll lower the leg and then back to a staggered down dog. Then slowly back forward, and then engaging that back side of the body, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the calf as you just float the leg away from the floor. Again, the back side of the body has this potential to really pull our awareness out of our forward-thinking mind. If you can feel the back of your body, you sort of zoom out automatically. It's pretty cool. All right. From there, I didn't position us perfectly for this, but I just want to do it while we're here. So you can glance at me and then try it on your own. You're going to just keep the same knee down. You're going to drop the leg open that's behind you, and then peel away like you're pulling a bow back with your arms into this supported side plank position. And just feeling the chest opening, the side body lengthening. You can sort of flex laterally the extended foot that's out to the side and feel that straight line from the heel all the way to the hip and the shoulder. The arm can sweep down, doing one big circle, peeling you open. And then the arm can swoop down again underneath you for a plank position. We're going to glide that leg back to a nice full plank and then dropping the knees back to Bhaktasana. Again, breathing into the back side of the body. Bring your awareness there. It's not automatic. It takes a little bit of focus and redirecting. Welcome to flex those wrists in as a counter pose, like you're flexing them in towards each other. Slowly extend the wrists, floating back up onto the knees. Before we do the other side, just take a moment, in case it's getting a little tight here in the front. We're going to bring the hands back behind us. I like to crease the hips and bend my elbows to grab my hands so that I can really take my time with extending. A lot of times you just pull the arms back. You're like, oh, I'm going to open the chest. But it really just hits the superficial. And so I like to take my time here. I give everything a bend. And then slowly peeling open, like the hips are slowly straightening, the arms are slowly pulling, and I keep focusing on the ribs because the ribs want to splay open, but we want to have a neutral pelvis-spine relationship here. Eventually, you'll find a position that is stretching across your chest. You'll also notice that the glutes behind you are engaging gently yet surely, as well as the hamstrings. Again, an opportunity to bring your attention to the back side of the body, to feel that back line of awareness. Great, and then you can slowly release, right? And then we got to finish the other side, so we'll just go ahead and bring our hands back down to the mat. And the leg that's closer to the monitor will extend. Your toes can tuck, and you can unweight the knee that's underneath you, but don't go too quick. You want to go slow enough that you feel the abdominals doing their work without you even telling them to. That's the best part. We float back into a staggered down dog. And then we float forward and try to let yourself, again, feel the work happening as it happens. Unweighting that back leg, feeling the glutes and the hamstrings, lifting the back leg as well as your erector spinae muscles in the back. We're not overdoing anything. We're just feeling what's happening while it's happening. We're witnessing it while we're living it. The foot can slowly release down. And then we press the hands forward and staggered down dog as our hips go back. Bringing our awareness into that back line of the body here as we drift the knee forward, finding the mat, unweighting the leg and feeling that back line waking up. Let your eyes sort of soften. You can even let your vision blur a little. And again, just feel that whole back line from the calf to the hamstrings to the glutes to the back, all the way to the back of the neck, even the back of the head, wrapping to the top of the head. It's all part of your back line. And one more time. And then one more knee drop and one easy leg lift. And because we're so close to this position and it would be so satisfying, I'm going to turn towards you. You can stay how you're doing, but you can pivot the front leg a little bit. It's not much. It's less than you think. And drop the back knee to find the floor for Ekapada Kapotasana Pigeon. Tent your fingertips. Tent them. That gives you a little bit of leverage. And draw the legs towards one another to lift your heart up. Pigeon is saying hello to the hip flexors on the front of the hip that's extended, but it's also saying hello to those back muscles and across the chest. Shoulders relax down and the neck lengthens from the back of the neck up through the crown. We can slowly bow down forward, and I realize that we forgot to finish with that supported side plank. So before we do pigeon on the other side, while we're here, you can come back up onto that knee. And this time you'll be pulling that bow and arrow open for that side plank facing the monitor. Feeling that long line of stretch from the heel up through the hip and the shoulder. And you're welcome to draw a couple of circles with the arm and feel it peel open the lateral edge of the body. And then we'll bring the hand down, and just to level things out, make sure it's easy, we'll come back through plank for just a breath. Drawing the other knee forward, swivel it just a little bit, drop back knee, tent fingertips, draw legs towards midline, lift up through heart. Shoulders are drawing down the back, awakening that back line. We'll plant the hands down, and to come out of this, you can actually just sort of come out onto the side of your hip, bring the feet out in front of you, and we're going to take a mini Shavasana before we meditate. So you can hold on to the knees and just allow yourself to drift back onto your back. Shavasana is actually a great way to say hello to the witness, because you can actually take a moment and with your eyes closed, and you can imagine yourself standing over yourself. You can almost see your body from above, like you're looking down on the body. And you can bring your attention to the soles of the feet, to the tops of the feet. to the shins, the calves, the tops of your thighs, to the backs of the thighs and to the glutes. You can pause here and imagine that bottom half of the body illuminated with the light of your awareness, breathing in through the nose, and then slowly breathing out through pursed lips. You can do that one more time. You can even imagine the legs sinking into the floor a little bit. Now you can bring your attention to the torso and feel where your back and your arms, feel all the areas that they interact with the floor. Feel your torso, your back, your spine. Feel all that support that the floor is giving you. The floor is holding you up. You've probably heard that cue in a yoga class or a Shavasana before, and it's for a reason. It's really effective. When you imagine the floor holding you up, it really helps you once again to witness your body, to see it from the outside, to actually see it while you feel it. It's a very unique sensation. It's a very unique practice. Feel your body being held up by the floor. Feel your back releasing its tension into that support of the floor. You can once again breathe in through the nose and breathe out through pursed lips slowly and fully. As you do that one more time, just imagine your whole body sinking just a little bit like into warm sand into the floor. And as we give ourselves just a quiet moment here in Shavasana to conclude, notice that bringing your attention to your heart actually helps you see your body and detach a little bit and witness your body laying on the floor. That the heart is actually a seat of awareness from which you can witness yourself. Imagine yourself just sitting in the heart and feeling the body around you relax. And from here, you can even continue witnessing your movement as you slowly move your fingers and toes and just observing yourself doing it. Watch as you even unweight one arm and release it, unweight the other. You can draw the heels towards your sit bones. Extend your arm, use it as a pillow as you roll onto your side. Extend the top leg as you push down through the floor with the top arm to come up. Feel free to grab a sip of water on your way to your meditation cushion. And taking some time to bring all this into focus through our practice. And so we're going to be working with the eyes open meditation. So I want you to know you can pivot. I'm going to pivot and look at a murti that's in the shrine that I'm in. You're welcome to pivot and look anywhere you like. If you'd like to look at the screen, you're welcome to. Or if your murtis are behind the screen, that's fine. But just know you should have a vantage point that you can relax your eyes and softly gaze, and I'll talk more about that. You want your posture to remain adequate. So you want the chin slightly tucked, the back of the neck long if possible. And again, you're welcome to adjust your seat if you need to find a different vantage point. That's totally fine. But you want it to be sustainable, or else you'll end up sort of sinking into a posture that will nag at you. And so the Shambhavi Mudra is an essential part of this lineage's practices, and it involves having your eyes open while you meditate. I think a lot of us already do it, but nonetheless, just I'll cue it a little bit and then we'll work on it together. And so this soft focus, for me, it's like if I focus on my hand here and then lower the hand, I retain that soft focus. For some, that's very helpful. For others, perhaps you'd like a little bit sharper focus, but we don't want to be staring at a point. It's not like we're trying to balance in a yoga posture, but rather we're trying to give the eyes a general space of focus so that they can actually relax. And that's the challenge. Relaxing our eyes while having them open. In a way, we are seated in a posture much like a yoga asana. It is considered an asana posture that we're in. And with our eyes open, it's almost like our mind is in a posture. It's aware of its surroundings. It sees these shapes, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't have our attention inside on our heart. In fact, it can be an incredible inspiration or sort of fulcrum around which we can harness our practice and harness our mind. So with the eyes softly focused, bring your attention to where you feel the breath flow. There's a coolness in the nostrils, probably. There's a gentle expansion throughout your body in different areas, like maybe the chest, the ribs, or the belly. There's a gentle hugging as you exhale. But just notice that you can have your eyes open And you can feel your breath happening in your body simultaneously. I know we might take that for granted if you've been doing this for a while, but feeling those two things at once, there's a almost like a friction that begins, a chemistry and out a chemistry that begins to happen within our practice, our mechanism. Allow the awareness of the breath to bring your attention to the heart. The breath will naturally lead you to the heart. You can also swallow and feel that downward swallowing action draw your focus to the heart, as well as clearing the throat. If you'd like, you can bring one fingertip to the center of the chest very lightly. And again, just sort of remind yourself that your eyes are open, but you can feel this space at the same time. You can slowly remove the fingertip and bring the fingertip of your awareness to the heart. Each inhale can draw your focus to the center of the chest. Each exhale allows that center point of the heart to expand. It's almost like a balloon that the inhale inflates the balloon a little bit in the heart. But then the exhale, the balloon doesn't get smaller, it actually keeps inflating. So that each breath is growing this space of the heart. And again, there is this incredible friction, might not be the right word, but there's a heat almost that is created as you're able to continuously feel this inner space of the heart and the breath while the senses remain open. Of course, you're welcome to bring your mantra to this practice. Ham sa would be a good one. Ham as you inhale and sa as you exhale, the silent mantra of the breath. Hamsa means I am that. Normally, I am that would mean I am the thing I'm looking at, almost pointing us outside of ourselves. But of course, we know that I am that is referring to this divinity. And so as you repeat hum and sa, you're really refocusing on that heart awareness. You're seeing that in your heart, and you're focusing on it while the eyes are open, while the senses are open. One of the greatest benefits of the Shambhavi Mudra for me in my practice is that it really allows my practice to be very simple, because there's so much stimulation in the eyes and in our vision and the hearing, etc., that all I have to do is hold that tether to the heart amidst that, and it feels like that's turning the mechanism of my practice. Something you might notice is that thoughts can come up, and though they aren't in the room with us and we're not looking at them, they can distract us just as much as if we just looked away at something. And so we see the mind and the senses as very similar. You can allow the eyes to close here for the last moments. And just feel the richness of this inner space. As we bring our attention inside while the eyes are open amidst these external distractions, we're really cultivating this inner space deeply. We might not get to revel in it while we do it, but we can be sure it's there and it's growing.